Hello, my name is Joanna, and here you can find support in healing insecure attachment style. Today I would like to talk about a coping mechanism which we can notice in people using this coping mechanism, people with fearful avoidant attachment style. And I, as a fearful avoidant, also use this coping mechanism in most of my relationships. So it's very familiar to me, and I used it a lot. So this coping mechanism is about threats of breakup and threats that we are about to leave or break up or divorce. And like every coping mechanism, it has positive aspects or perceived positive aspects. But when we will look closer, we will notice very quickly that this coping mechanism brings us a lot of stress, a lot of hurt, doesn't resolve anything, and it also triggers our partners. So when we are at the point where we feel like we need to use this coping mechanism, when the only thing which left is a threat that will leave, it means that our program is active and we are at the end phase of that program, and our mind is giving us this strong message: do it, this is the best thing you can do right now, it's the right thing to do right now, just do it. So then very often our partner is also triggered by this, and it may shut down our partner, which that shutdown will trigger us, and we will be in a conflict. Both people are feeling very hurt, unseen, and not important, and nothing basically is resolved. So if you are interested in no longer using that coping mechanism and you find yourself using threats that you will leave, I have few recommendations how to reprogram that. First thing, we want to notice what is the trigger, what activated the whole program, how this happened, and then we end up using this coping mechanism. So for many of us, it's feeling hurt, not important, that the person, our partner usually, don't care, we don't matter. So let's say there is a unmet need in the relationship or maybe boundary violation, and we want to bring this up to our partner. We're not excellent in communication because we're just healing our attachment style, so we are not excellent communicators, and we didn't do any work around that. We go straight to our partner with maybe complaints or criticism, and we want to express what's not working for us, what's missing, or what hurt us. And if the partner is dismissive or maybe even shaming what we just said, our feelings, our need, or start criticizing or being defensive, then the activation of our core wounds happen, and we start being very triggered at this point. So our core wound, I'm not good enough, I don't matter, I'm not important, I'm not worthy, may be activated, I'm unloved, may be activated because of that situation. And then out of that activation, the core wounds activation, we have intense feelings in our body, and the mind is racing, how this person is unloving, unkind, and how we don't matter to this person, how this person doesn't even care about us. And then the last portion, the last step is that coping mechanism, basically pushing away, deactivating, threatening that the best way to do what to do in this situation is to break up. So here are my few suggestions how to end this process and no longer use this coping mechanism. Replace this coping mechanism with self-understanding, self-connection, and communication with a partner. And so first step to do that is identification. Like, you need to identify what actually is the issue. So what are you trying to express? Is it a need? Is it a boundary violation? Is it a concern? Is it a fear? Whatever it is, you need to be clear first what you want to express and what's going on, why. Once you identify this, let's say it's unmet need, let's say time together, not enough time together. Then we are trying to do work internally, which means we need to make sure, especially as a fearful avoidance, we need to make sure we see this need as valid, natural, normal. We need to make sure we don't feel ashamed of this need, and we feel like we deserve this need to be met. So that's that internal work, the attitude, the belief toward that need has to be, I deserve, this is normal, this is basic human need, being together, connection, I deserve to have this, just it requires strategy, maybe compromise, right? So that's the first internal work, the first step. Next step, we want to make sure that we meet this need for ourselves, so we're not running or empty tank on empty stomach. We're not craving, we're not hungry, because we are meeting this need for ourselves. As fearful avoidance on our healing journey, identifying the need plus meeting the need, it's a healing process, it's a reparenting, it ends the re-traumatization for us and brings peace and harmony to our relationships. So let's say time together involves presence, interest, care, quality time. So we plan how to meet this need for ourselves. The next step is to communicate expression of our need to our partner. Here we would like to address and take into consideration our partner's sensitivity points and attachment style. So for example, if this is dismissive avoidant partner, we want to make sure when we express there is no sign of criticism or complaints. It's delivered in a calm way with a lot of description how to meet that need. So we approach, let's say, our dismissive partner and we ask that we would like to talk about something. It's just a short conversation and you would like to introduce something which is important to you. Then you express what you want, which is time together, and you describe what would you like to happen. So you give the detailed description, you paint the picture how to meet your need, and then you are, of course, open to suggestions and compromise. Just you asking your partner to be mindful of this, and you really want to strategize to improve that or increase that time together. It is possible that our partner will still feel defensive around it or try to dismiss that request. And there is this point where we learn to show up for ourselves. That's why the part where we validated this is important, this is valid need, this is normal need, and we deserve is very important, because this is the time to bring up that sense, that truth, and show up for self in a calm way with communication that this is something you would like to work on. It doesn't have to happen right now, but you're just asking partner to be mindful of this, and this is something you would like to see happening in the near future. So showing up for self and showing up for that need reprograms our core wound. I'm not important, I'm not seen, I don't matter, I'm not worthy. When we do this with repetition, we finally heal that core wounds. The next step in this process is to making sure you meet this need for yourself, or also you're trying to meet this need in the friendships, in family interactions, maybe depends on the situation. And if nothing is changing, you bringing up this subject again. Why? Because your need matters, because you are important, it's important to you, and that's why you're bringing up this again. When our partner is still defensive or shaming or dismissive toward this need, then it's time to reflect on that relationship, set a time boundary, and if nothing is changing, if the partner is still unwilling to meet the need or compromise or strategize in any form, it's time to consider if this is the relationship for you. So in this process, what you're avoiding is that intense triggered space which you're going through, that triggered space for a partner, because when we are threatening our partners that we'll break up, it hurts them. It puts them in the shutdown mode or defensiveness mode. So we avoid this triggered states in both partners. Both partners feel safe in the relationship, and we feel empowered, we feel calm, we feel like we matter, and we bring healthy interaction into the relationship based on communication. So I hope these suggestions are helpful, and I really encourage you to work on the unhealthy coping mechanisms. Thank you.